Alright, it is a Friday, 9:29 a.m. and November the 19th. I don't want to do anything dumb. I'm most likely red on the Friday for whatever reason, whether I'm just trying to, unconsciously push myself, right, to just get a nice trade to end the week or something like that. I'll try to be cautious. It's going to be morning panic balance plays for the same stocks. The watch list has not changed except for LGVM being here, but this is a list of stocks, so I'm just going to watch, and maybe if it does like a clean inverse head and shoulders, it could be something that I'm going to trade. As for the other ones, they're all pretty much morning panic balance play setups. Some of these are a bit too far down for me to really consider it. Some of them can be like a reversal setup at any point, but I'm going to be pretty cautious. That's nice to see OSCI trying to do something at 38. Maybe it won't actually open there, but this is the one that was very interesting yesterday. I'm going to be focused on morning panic balance plays, and I'm going to do that $15 risk level. Alright, I just had a morning panic balance play trade. I think I'm up maybe, I guess, $8 perhaps, just under $8. And this was a trade DPLS. This was a morning panic balance play. It had a drop from this 12 level to 11. So, move from 12 to 11 is like 9%. A little more range than the one I traded yesterday. Actually, a lot more range than the one I traded yesterday, ILUS. And I did see the level 2 turnaround actually. This is one where I actually was trying to consider getting long at 1101 and 1102 because of the fact that it had this drop, right? And then it got to the 11, but the 11 was taking size. However, the bid at 11 was just holding so nicely. It was holding. There was a lot of big bidders at 11, and I tried to get in at 1101 when I saw the price action, but clearly it wasn't the only one, and that was on the ask. And then I quickly tried to move to 1102, and I was still not able to get in. It did a nice push to 11.5, and I thought, dang, that really sucks. But then I remembered what I've done. I think not this weekly recap, I think the one before, if not the one before that, I learned something where if a morning panic balance play really works, the ones that really do offer opportunity, they have a drop towards the bottom. It does that yuppie push. All the people bid it up. I was trying to get in before something like that, and I didn't. But a lot of times it comes near the bottom of the candle, and in this case, it did come near the bottom of the candle. It didn't get to the very bottom, right? But I did get executed. Yeah, I got in at 11.14 when it came back at 9.35 right here. I had that push to 11.5 from 11, and I was in right here. Yeah, 11.14, 2,000 shares, because I didn't really get 11.01 or anything like that. I didn't get as many shares as I would have liked, but I did do that, and I did sell in pieces. I sold 500 at 11.4, which is different from 11.14. 9.36. The next candle right here is when I sold some, and then I sold 500 more shares when it just looked like maybe it was trying to struggle at that level. And then I sold the last 1,000 shares at 9.37, which was it really that candle? 11.68. Yeah, this thing had a wick actually. The last 1,000 shares was right here. So I sold here 1,000 shares, half the position, and then I sold 1,000 at 11.4, which was right here. It did get to 11.9, which is cool. I'm salty that I missed the level 2 reversal here, but at least I got in when it came back near the bottom. And let's just see if I did get my $15 risk reward thing. Just want to be sure. I was in 11.4. And the theory is that if it breaks 11, I cut the trade, and worst case scenario, I'm out at 10.5. So that's 210, 228. Yeah, that's about an $18 risk. I'd say that's pretty close to my $15 risk. Now maybe it's a bit excessive. that I think, you know, if it breaks 11, there's going to be so much slippage that I get out at 10.5. But you know, DPLS can do something like that, any OTC can do something like that, and I just want to, you know, really prepare for worst case scenario. But you know, maybe if it's this low in terms of price and it moves with a decent amount of range, perhaps I'll move my risk a little bit higher, maybe 11 breaks, and I'll say maybe I sell with slippage 10.7, and then that means I get in at a larger size. But I don't mind that. What was my percent gain? I guess I made like 3 something percent averaged out. That wasn't bad at all. I just wish I did get the bottom there, but that was me really. You know, it was there at the bottom at 11.01, and then I try to place an order immediately. The level 2 is at, you know, a tick higher, and then, you know, I cancel that order, try to get in again. I missed it. That's fine. I would have held through this downtrend obviously, unless it would have broken 11. As for the other ones, I don't like trading morning panic bounce plays on stocks that have been up one day. Sometimes I'm interested in it if it looks super clean. This one wasn't a case. DPLS, I'll make an update. Maybe it can do like a higher low, lower low setup. Nothing with ILUS. I think it's just not trading with that much volume right now. Nothing here with ELEK. OZSC does not want to be clicked on. I would not be really that interested in this, especially because it just slightly broke under it. There is a big bidder. I'd have to be watching this more for me to consider it, and it's not really that nice of a setup. I want to see what that one does though. AABB is downtrending. I don't like the way it's doing it, but I'll probably watch this. If it tries to do something clean, maybe a later morning panic bounce play, I'll consider it. That's cool. RGBP's trying to turn around. And this is why I don't like listed stocks. Big old halts. That's what I have for right now. I'll make an update later. I'll be looking at some, what was it, OZSC as well as AABB. Alright, it is 9:52. Just a quick update. I would be considering this morning panic bounce play higher low. You know, there's a nice level to play off of it and everything, but there are too many sellers with size on the ask, so I'm not interested in DPLS for that reason. As for, I believe, yeah, AABB, this one does seem to be working. I would have been in at 21.8, right? I had the whole thing ready and everything, if it lets me. 21.8. There was actually a lot of opportunity to be executed there at 21.8, and I did hesitate on this one because it was kind of later in the day and it was looking, you know, not like a traditional morning panic bounce play that has big red candles, but this one did offer a move. At least right now it's under VWAP, but it can try to break past it. I would probably, I don't know if I would have been selling the entire position by now, but perhaps I'd still be holding on. I'm not really watching the price action because I'm not in the trade, but you know, at least as closely as I would be if I was long this. But we do have a nice bidder there at 221. Anyway, 218 was a very easy point, and if I'm trading with that, I think I did an $8 risk here because it's a bit later. It's not the first trade, but you know, $218 position. Worst case scenario, I cut the trade if it breaks 215. Worst case, I get out at 21 with slippage. That's an $8 risk, and that was totally possible. Totally possible. I want to see if this one breaks past VWAP or not. As for OZSC, yeah, that one is a bit sketchy. It came back. It did do a move, but I was too scaredy cat for this one. It did offer a move. 49 to 51, not the best range, but it did get to VWAP, so yeah, that's what I have for right now. I'll make an update and see what happens with AABB. I'd probably be more interested in selling everything if this big bidder disappears, or maybe some people are dumping their shares and this guy is starting to get smaller, or maybe people are selling and then this guy at 2 2215 disappears, and then this one disappears too because he's actually a fake bidder. But yeah, as for right now, I'm just looking. Probably no more setups, honestly, until Monday. I don't want to do any stupid trades trying to finish the day off big or something, but that's where I'm at the moment. Alright, it is 10:33 and I want to make an update. I did try and attempt a buy at AABB. It honestly did work out a little bit, but it didn't do that much. I could have been executed maybe if I didn't cancel the order a little bit after I placed it. I could have been in at 10:09, which I believe was right here. That's right, 10:09, right when it looked like it was going to do a potential turnaround, and that would have been at 12.2. It would have been very possible to be in at 12.2, which was the ask right here. And this was like a morning panic bounce play, lower low. So here's the panic, and then here's the lower low. And there was a lot of opportunity actually to try selling at 214 at the ask, but as you can tell, the bid is 2129. So if I were to sell at the bid, you know, not counting this one, I would have been just barely profitable. And I didn't like the price action. I didn't like how it was hanging right below VWAP at the time, and there were some big sellers at the ask, so it did break lower. And at this point, I am not interested in trading anything else, and so many of these setups are just, all of these are red except for this one, which is a listed stock in RGBP. You know, it's way at its low, so you know, I guess that's why this one is up. Let's look at this one. I haven't seen it in a while. This one's trying to turn around actually, because this one's been at its lows for a while too, kind of like RGBP just started to be in. All of these are red considerably. I won't be interested in OSCI, DPLS, and these other ones. If they end up dropping at least 15% on the day, maybe 20, 25, and we get to 11:30 and it doesn't inverse head and shoulders, I'll be interested in trading that. Otherwise, I don't think I'll be trading anything else. Alright, it is 11:39. I want you to pay attention to this 800K seller. He's actually back. I was in DPLS for like an 11:30 a.m. reversal, and I thought, alright, this could be the shoulder. It could make a head, and then it makes a shoulder. It makes a move towards the upside. Best case scenario, you know, it hits VWAP. Super best case scenario, it gets above VWAP. I don't know if I made anything in this trade, but I was in 11:21 right here at 10:24. Immediately a few minutes later, I could have gone in at 10:18, which would have been a lot better. I started trading with a spread, as you can tell, so I thought, alright, this is some desperate price action. It might not be good, you know, and I did sell half. 11:29 right here at 10:29, so that's slightly for a profit. And it looked like it was trying to break this 10.3 level. It really did back here. And then all of a sudden, Mr. 800K seller shows up, and I guess he's real because he's taken inside, shows up at the ask, and then 100K seller, and the bid was not looking strong at all. I thought, alright, that is not good. I did try to sell for break even, and then I thought, okay, you know what, I'm getting out, because you know, we're having these large sellers show up on the ask, and I'm not really interested in, you know, being there, you know, the last stand, and then, you know, just fighting off the ask. No, thank you. It did downtrend, and in theory, I did have an $8 risk level, so it was 10.13. If it were to have broken 10.13, I'd put a sell, and then worst case scenario, slippage, I sell at 10 flat, and that is an $8 loss, my $8 risk reward, which is totally fine. I guess I'll just go over it, right? 10.24, right? Or what was it? Yeah, 10.24. And that would be, oh, I put in the wrong spot, no wonder. It's 4,000 shares, I believe. 10.24. And then, you know, I sell if it breaks again this 10.13 level. Worst case, I sell at 10. It goes from 409 to 400. So there you go. That's my $8 risk. So again, it broke it briefly here. I would have been out, even though it is trying to turn around, because the price action was never good, and that it had a large seller at the ask. He's trying to get taken out, actually. That's pretty cool. 1028 is at the bid. I would have had to have held through this downtrend and then it briefly breaking the level for me to be still in this trade, and that would not be according to my plan. I'm gonna guess I was slightly profitable. Okay, so I made like $6 off of that trade, right? Oh wait, no. Oh, this was a trade. So I made 80 pennies. I made 80 pennies in that trade because, you know, this was a morning panic bounce play right here on this section. But this section in particular, you know, with the 4,000 shares that I traded, 2,000 sold, 2,000 sold. I sold some for a slight profit, the other for a slight loss because my entry was 1024 in that last section. I sold at 1023, so I made 80 pennies off of that trade. Right now I'd probably be up just a little more, but that wasn't really ideal. I'll make an update to see if this thing breaks the level or not, but yeah, the setup was there. I just did not like the price action, and that person is still sitting pretty with all those shares. Alright, it is 6:57 and I'm here to call it off. I made like a whopping $8 and something cents, and that was trading DPLS twice. The morning panic bounce play initially right here, and I also traded the what seemed to me was that 11 a.m. reversal, and that was all the way back there. It actually did work in that the setup that I was interested in played out, but it happened much later. This was it. I thought maybe shoulder, head, and then shoulder, but no, I made another downtrend, and this ended up being the shoulder in and of itself. Here's the head and then the shoulder, which, you know, looks a lot better, but this was trading with a large spread. That's what market makers do when they're desperate trying to get it to uptrend, is, you know, they have a wide spread. Maybe there are some large sellers on the ask, they drop the bid, or they just don't lower the ask, and then people start hitting the ask, and that doesn't mean they can't make a stock uptrend. It just means that, you know, they're trying to do, you know, an uptrending price action with things that are more just like more desperate, but still feasible for sure. And that was a move that played maybe like 10-1 to 10-6, so not even, you know, 10%. It wasn't that much range, but it was there. I was just too early, you know. I don't mind that one bit. I think I did pretty good with my initial morning panic bounce play. I did trade that $15 risk level, and, you know, it didn't work out too nicely, but I mean, I don't know, looking now it seems like it did something nicer, right? But I think the issue is that the range just wasn't there. It went from 11 to almost 12, so, you know, almost 9%. I guess it just wasn't that much range to play with, but the opportunity was still there, and I took it, and I got like 3% out of it. I really look forward to watching this again to see how I traded it, and the setup again here was pretty fine for what it was. OSCI, I had no interest in this because it was only up one day. TGGI is actually holding itself a lot nicer than the other OTCs, if you ask me. At least the way it traded here, putting up higher lows throughout the day after the downtrend. This one has no volume. I'm probably going to remove this one, but, you know, maybe it will do some kind of an uptrend, but that's something that I think will take weeks to do perhaps. IOUS keeps downtrending, but, you know, I'm sure a lot of people are wanting this to find a bottom to base and then try to uptrend from there if they're going to do something like that. AABB will continue to be a morning panic bounce play setup that I will be watching. This one was kind of iffy. It did happen, but a bit later, and I think I just missed it. I can't remember for sure, honestly. RGBP, yeah, this thing can try to reverse at any point like INND, although I think RGBP could do a better job. It all depends, honestly. I don't really know, but, you know, that's something that I can just try because I do want to get better at more setups and, you know, stocks that are reversing, maybe whether a swing trade or a day trade playing off of VWAP. That would be kind of cool. LGVN, this is the listed stock. It did look like it was trying to do inverse head and shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, but this one didn't move that much. 955 to 991. That wasn't like too bad, but I've learned that it doesn't really work that nicely if the inverse head and shoulders is very far from VWAP. If it plays off of VWAP and it's an inverse head and shoulders, those tend to work super nicely. This one wasn't really the case, and of course listed stocks are kind of jumpy. That's all I have. Just happy that I didn't have a red day for being a Friday, because I tend to do that more often, and the setups I took were not that bad at all. I didn't do anything dumb trying to push myself to trade something before the end of the week. That's all I have. A lot of room for improvement, but yeah, I think it's another step in the right direction. If you guys like what I'm doing here, go ahead and subscribe, and if you have any comments or questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. Once again, that's all I have, and yeah, I'll make the next video, God willing, on Sunday, going over all of the trades I made this week.